Hey wife, hey, it's Wife Strut Wednesday and I'm coming to you again from a local coffee shop, but I'm outside and it's not doing the girl's hair nice at all, but I'm gonna just jump into it. This week I want to talk about family because I have a question. Have you guys ever heard of the concept of like praying for the lives of your future child's spouse? That's something. So So this came to me because I was a few weeks back looking on my Instagram, and I follow Jada Hite, and you to check her out. But she had posted something about how she was spending that week praying for her daughter's future spouse, and I was like, oh my gosh, because her daughter I think is like under age 5, and I was like, that is a thought. I wonder how many people's parents do that. Um, and she was saying the things that she was praying for was like the type of interaction that his parents have with one another, like the love and the affection and the intimacy that he would be watching, which would in theory directly lead to his understanding of marriage and what that should look like. She also talked about like the type of schools that his parents choose for him to feed into his education, and the things that would make him a well-rounded person. And I thought, isn't that so interesting that like we take a lot of time praying for us and others and what have you, but how much time do we take to pray for like our future other people that are like not even existent, not even years and years away? I thought that was so awesome. And then I started thinking about when I was single and how my mom would tell me like, just hang in there, keep with your values. There are so many times I was discouraged. Like, is this ever going to happen? Like, oh, next date, oh, next problem. Oh, of course he's not interested. Oh, because, you know, so and so is doing all these other things and that just doesn't line up with my core values and what have you. My mom would say like, no, there's a reason. God designed it this way for a reason. It's always been the desire of your heart. You hold fast because he will come, the right he will come, right? And she was saying to me, you know, I pray for your husband all the time. And I'm like, what? She's like, I do. I pray for your future husband because it's such a desire of your heart. And God will give you the desires of your heart. And I don't think you have that desire for no reason. And I'll be like, okay, mom. So fast forward some time, I started dating my husband now. And when I was dating him, you know, there always comes a point you have to have this conversation. And so I gave the big info about how like my desire and practices, even as old as I was to wait until marriage. And, you know, he had the choice to be okay or not be okay with that. That was totally on him. However, I just wanted him to know that if he chose to be with me, then that would also now become his choice and his responsibility to uphold that. And I didn't want him to give me an answer. I was like, think about it and then we'll talk about it later. And so after a few weeks, I of course got an answer on that, and you see that it worked out. But I recall making a phone call to my mom and being like, oh my God, I'm gonna throw up. And she's like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I just told him. And she's like, oh my gosh, you told him? And I'm like, I did. And she was like, so what did he say? And I was like, I told him not to say anything. I told him to wait until, you know, he really had time to think about it. And she was like, don't worry, go lay down, breathe, just like move on, because the reality of the situation is he's gonna be okay with it. He's gonna fall in love with you. He's gonna ask you to marry him. And I was like, Mom, I have to go. This is trash. I don't think that's way too far right now. I can't even do this with you. And so she was like, okay. Fast forward, what, 3 weeks, 10 dates, and what have you later. And he was like, yeah, I'm okay with it. And I'm like, okay, you sure? A few months later, we were engaged. So I guess Mama knows. Question is, was it that she knew, or was it that she knew that her prayers matter and what she was asking for mattered, and she knows the God she serves? So there we have it. So I was thinking that like people tend to pray for their future, right? And they pray for the things that it is that desires or things that they know other people might be struggling with. But when you pray for other people, are you praying it for them or for how that's going to impact your life? Because it should be for them, right? And for their good and for their future, right? If that's the case, I have the question like, why is it so common that there seems to be this commonality of like frequency of struggle, or like this tug of war, if you will, in marriages between what the people in the marriage want and all these outside voices? I mean, how many people say like, we have these arguments, they don't even about us because so and so said something, or because this person has this opinion, or this is the desires that this person wants, and we're trying to balance that out. It makes me think of this post that I read on Facebook where a lady says, like, oh, I wish I could pick my own daughter-in-law. You marinate on that. She wants to pick her own daughter-in-law. Why? Is she marrying her? No. So why does she feel that she should have gotten a vote, right? And in my perspective, that's because she was looking at how this person would impact her future, not the future of her son who she would have been marrying. So why then is that people say, like, I'm so family oriented? Oh, my, spouse's family is so family oriented. I think like family oriented sounds so good. It's like this mask of like, well, you should be okay with that because like family is important. Would you want to be with someone who's family oriented? And I think the answer is yes. But then my question is family oriented really family oriented, or is family oriented like this catch-all mask for like my family? So this person's super family oriented, which means you need to make sure that you uphold whatever it is that the family typically does or the family typically has. And so it kind of makes me wonder, like, if you're family oriented, are you family oriented for your family or for families in general? Because if it's families in general, I think that then we respect other people's family culture practices. I think we respect our family and how we carry things out and what we've kind of built. And I also think that that means we are open to the progression and process of family development, right? So with new families, you branch off and pull from two different families to create a new family, which requires time and energy and working through things that doesn't allow you to keep upholding other trends and cultures and, I would say, rituals, right? Just because that's what we do. If you are family oriented, which we say that we are as people, then that should go full circle. So just some things I've been thinking about, especially because I thought it was just so cool that this lady said that she has been praying for her daughter's future husband, and her daughter's 5. But I mean, think about, where does it start? And shout out to my mom for praying for mine. I think when you think about praying for future people and the desires that's best for their heart, we don't look at it as how that's going to benefit us. And when we feel that God will answer that and bring forward the people that are for us or the needs of that person, then it'll kind of just seamlessly fit and there won't be a struggle. And I feel like I am speaking on my husband's behalf, that I feel like my mom and parents have been super arm opening and receiving him, and however that looks for us. Not that, people don't have their thoughts and opinions, and it's a transition period, it is, but maybe it all started with the prayer. So just a few things that I had on my brain. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know how you've experienced prayers. Do you pray for your children's future, whomever? Do you feel that your family did that for you, or your spouse's family did that for you? And how do you think that that could impact things? Did it impact you well, if that is what happened? And how will that impact for your children in the future? Just some thoughts, throwing it out there about it. It's Wife Strut Wednesday, so we out here strutting, out here wifing at the local coffee shop. I'll see y'all next week.